This week's Raw started off with a tribute to Jason Kelsey, and I'm believing the only reason why they did this because WrestleMania is in Philadelphia. But if you know me, I am a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so this one hit close to home. I am your host, Unknown Emperor, and thank you for tuning in for Monday Night Raw reviews. We're just gonna go ahead and get into it. Raw kicked off kind of with a recap segment of Elimination Chamber, Cody Rhodes and his calling out of The Rock, and then The Rock's rebuttal, or the whole Bloodline segment that took forever on Friday Night SmackDown. And then nobody else would kick off Monday Night Raw other than Cody Rhodes. And if you ask me, and you're asking me because you're tuning in, the woes are getting louder. The woes are getting louder and more vigorous. I can just hear it because my woes in my house is getting louder. But I digress. It was a basic Monday Night Raw opening promo. He referenced the conversation that they had that led to Cody Rhodes basically giving up his WrestleMania thing. He said something about The Rock pouring honey into his ear. You know, that sweet nothings, whispering honey into his ear. And basically he said that The Rock said that nobody wanted Roman versus Cody again, that Roman versus The Rock was the bigger draw. And then he asked if it was any Cody crybabies out there. A lot of people cheered. I'm cheering because I really want Cody. I'm torn between the two. A part of me wants Cody to finish. The other half of me wants Roman Reigns' reign to continue, ironically. And then he prompted Seth Rollins to come out. Seth Rollins came out to a roaring ovation. I'm enjoying his run right now, and his song is getting louder and louder. They had kind of more of a reference to what was going on. Cody said that if he didn't want to tag with him, referencing to Seth, going on with everything kind of happening in his championship match at WrestleMania, that he didn't have to. Seth Rollins doubled down on what he said last week, that he doesn't want Roman to get all the power. He doesn't want Bloodline to get all the power. And Seth is really standing on business. And then he referenced The Rock by calling him Diarrhea Dwayne. And that started a diarrhea chant in the crowd. It was such a crazy start to Monday Night Raw, but I really appreciate it. And then he gave us an announcement that he was medically cleared to perform. He was now 100%. So now he's ready for WrestleMania and anything. So they probably gonna throw down Friday night whenever it comes. And then he basically threw the ball in Cody's court, asking him, does he have his back? Cody laid down the challenge. He said that they were gonna see him Friday night. Seth and Cody are gonna go to Friday night, and that's how the opening segment of Raw ended. I really enjoyed this segment. It was really good, and I appreciate it for what it is. I'm really looking forward to Friday Night SmackDown. So it did what it really needed to do for really everything that is happening with this storyline. It is taking it to the next step. So I'm really looking forward to see where it goes. I think it's good. Dom and Gunther was the first match to take place on Raw, and this was a result of Judgment Day coming out and confronting Imperium last week. So 7 days later, Gunther versus Dirty Dom, and the result was exactly what you was expecting. Me personally, I enjoyed the match. Just the spoiler, I enjoyed the match because it showcased Gunther as the ring general and how he basically dominates everybody that he goes into the ring with. This was no exception. Dominic got a little offense in, but the majority of it was Gunther slapping him around. JD McDonough tried to get interference. It kind of saved face for a little minute. Dominic was swatting Gunther. It wasn't really affecting him. It was essentially just making Gunther mad. And Gunther did everything he possibly could to make Dirty Dom feel it. He did a devastating chop in the corner, which caused Dirty Dom to fall out of the ring. He hit him, he did basically a flip, and he fell out of the ring. I don't know if you've ever been chopped by somebody, and I don't know if you've ever seen Gunther chop somebody. I wouldn't want to take it. I wouldn't want to take it for $1 million. I mean, I'd take it for $1 million, but my heart wouldn't be beating the same after that. After JD had his interference, Gunther worked a slam in, and then he was able to do a 1-2. He possibly could have got the 3, but he picked him up, just basically showing him like, hey, I'm big dog, I can do this. Dirty Dom reversed a power bomb into a sunset flip, and then he was able to hit the 619. After he hit the 619, he hit a flying nothing, which means he dove off the top rope. He hit nobody, and then Gunther hit him with a power bomb, and then instead of pinning him, he chose to tap him out in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. The ring general wins. Dirty Dom gets exactly what was coming to him. I don't think he lost any stock in anything, but the ring general is not gonna lose on his road to WrestleMania, and I appreciate everything that he has to offer. He is a beast and a dog, and he is great in what he does. Adam Pearce was then backstage. He had a brief interaction with Damage Control, trying to make sure that they don't stir up any trouble, and then they were interrupted by Shinsuke Nakamura, just basically coming in, talking about, he wants to talk about the Intercontinental Championship. This was like a big ordeal for a couple of segments. Everybody wanted to state their claim. Ironically, everybody that stated their claim was in the match. Kind of like they knew it was gonna happen. But I don't know. It's just me. Yeah, I know Emperor. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about, but it was a good segment, just for what it's worth, you know, just giving it a little rating. It was a good segment, and it led us into the Kabuki Warriors coming out to watch Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark fight Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. That match was pretty standard for what you would think a women's tag team match is right now. No disrespect to the women competitors, because everybody involved is a great wrestler, but the way that WWE is presenting its women's wrestling, unless you're a main player, is just basically either 5-minute matches or disqualifications. Hell, even in the main women matches, it's disqualifications. But I digress. But it worked its way into the tag team match. It was Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, as I said, versus Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. It was a extremely well orchestrated match. The Kabuki Warriors was on the outside along with the rest of Damage Control. I keep saying the Kabuki Warriors. It was all the Damage Control: Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Asuka, and then Kairi Sane. They were just sitting on the announce table. Pat McAfee did not see anything, as he stated on commentary. Match started off pretty strong. It was quick back and forth. Zoe Stark, Chance Stark, Shayna Baszler. It got to the point to where Katana Chance and Carter and Chance hit a 450. It was called an after party. It was amazing. It was, oh my goodness. If you don't see anything, if you watch every wrestler and just wants to see a couple of moves, that is an amazing move that you should watch. She hit it. They went to the 1-2. Shayna Baszler pulled her out, so she didn't get the 1-2-3. And as she was getting choked out, I want to say Chance tried to save Carter from getting choked out, but then she got rolled up by Zoe Stark. 1-2-3. It was a quick and easy, less than 5-minute match. And then after Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark won, the Kabuki Warriors and Io Sky and Dakota Kai came to the ringside. Dakota Kai did go inside the ring. She did most of the talking for Damage Control, but it ended up with just both of the teams saying, see you next week, and I'm ready to see who will win this match. I personally think it might end in disqualification. It was a good match, I guess, for what it's worth. I try to look at on the bright side of half this stuff. It wasn't a bad orchestrated match. It did what it did for what it was supposed to do, and I'm ready for next week. I believe it's gonna be the Kabuki Warriors. I know they have a match at Roadblock tomorrow, NXT, but I'm ready to see where it goes next week and see how it progresses. Becky versus Nia was then the next match, and this was another match that was made from last week, and they both started off very fiery in this match. Becky Lynch showcasing her speed, Nia Jax showcasing her power, and they really got to it extremely quick. Not 5 minutes into the match, Nia Jax found a way to shove her ass in Becky Lynch's face, and Becky was not enjoying it. You saw it after the fact. Then we really sped up the process through this match. A power slam was reversed, and then after the power slam was reversed, Becky Lynch hit Nia Jax with a chop underneath. So she's really started to chomp down on the bigger competitor and started to basically win over the match a little bit. Becky was basically getting the momentum. She did a dive outside. Then she got caught. She was hit with a Samoan drop to the outside, which looked extremely painful. I would not want to take one of those. Nia and Becky was on the top rope, and then Becky got tossed off of it. It looked extremely painful. It looked very bad, and from that point, Nia Jax jumped from the top rope. She did a leg drop from top rope. She got a 1-2 kick out. Extremely frustrated. You saw it on her face. Becky Lynch found a way to get back on offense. She hit a 450 splash onto Nia Jax for a 1-2 kick out. Everything was really starting to pick up. Crowd was starting to get into it a little bit based off of what I was seeing, and I was starting to get into it a little bit because the back and forth between these two wrestlers. But you knew something was gonna to happen. Nia Jax turned an arm bar into a slam into the barricade, but you would have to see how it happened. It was like an arm bar in a ring. She slid out, still holding Becky Lynch, and slammed her into the barricade. It looked extremely like you have to be strong to do something like that, which she is obviously. But after she slammed her into the barricade, she was outside, and next thing you know, she got attacked like she did last week, this time by Liv Morgan. And then Liv Morgan walked past Becky Lynch, basically laughing in her face, and they had a little face off. But then it ended with Nia Jax attacking both of them and leaving standing tall. And I don't know where it's gonna go because Becky Lynch is fighting Rhea Ripley. It might end in a program with Nia Jax and Liv Morgan fighting at WrestleMania, but I don't really know. I hate the fact that I knew that Liv Morgan was gonna, but sometimes foreshadowing is it's required in wrestling. So I think I don't think it was bad as a whole, the match itself. I really think it's good. If you think, if you agree or disagree, you're more than welcome to leave a comment down below. Ricochet, who I have not seen in a while, was backstage pleading his Intercontinental case to Adam Pearce. Ricochet, what have you done to deserve a title? And then JD McDonough and the Judgment Day walked in saying that JD deserved the title shot. How? What did he do? What did he do to deserve a title shot? And Adam Pearce said that he was listening. He was listening. I don't know why he was listening. I don't know what he was listening to, because neither of these people deserve anything. But then we segue to Becky Lynch confronting Liv Morgan, and Liv Morgan was like, hey, you can dish it out, but you can't take it. And they set up a match for next week. And then Rhea Ripley just came from the shadows, rubbing her hands like Birdman. laughing in Becky Lynch's face. And Becky was like, man, I'll see you in a couple weeks, which she will. Which she will see her in a couple of weeks. And then we got a hype video for Jay versus Drew McIntyre that was taking place later on in the night. And then we kind of segued into Adam Pearce making an announcement for the Intercontinental Championship. And what he announced was a gauntlet for next Monday night. It's going to include Sami Zayn. It's going to include Braun Breaker. It's going to include Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, JD Madonna, and Chad Gable. They're going to take place in a gauntlet match, and the winner of that gauntlet match is going to fight Gunther at WrestleMania. Me personally, I don't know who's going to win. It's a toss-up between Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. Chad Gable had a little segment later on with Gunther saying that he needs to win it for his daughter. So they're playing it up very well for him. So Gunther is going to face either, in my opinion, Sami Zayn or Chad Gable. And then that made its way into the next match. And the next match was Andrade making his debut on Monday Night Raw. And he took a returning Apollo Crews. And I haven't seen Apollo in forever either. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but Apollo has been missing in action. Unless he's somewhere else doing something else, I haven't seen him. But it's great to see him back on TV because he is an amazing wrestler. But this match did not go too long. Andrade was able to turn a superplex from Apollo Crews into the Three Amigos, and then after the Three Amigos, he hit his reverse elbow for a 1-2 kick out. Apollo got a little bit of offense in, but it was one of those matches that didn't really last long. After that, after the kick out, he hit his double knee, and then he was able to hit his hammerlock DDT for the 1-2-3. Andrade wins, and I don't know what to take from this. He is a great wrestler, and I knew that before this, but it just doesn't necessarily progress this any way, shape, form, or fashion. I guess this just gives him a cheap win. So I'm always good for wrestlers getting a win, especially Andrade returning. You didn't want to give him a loss, but I haven't seen Apollo, so that doesn't really raise his stock in him a lot. So, but I like Andrade personally, so I think it was a good deal. But I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but I'm ready to see, because every week you're going to hear me say that I trust Triple H because he has not given me anything to not trust in. So I'm all here for it. Next, Sami Zayn was backstage getting interviewed. And to make a long story short, this just basically because he got interrupted by Valhalla and Ivar. This just set up an impromptu match for Sami Zayn and Ivar to have later on to give Sami Zayn a little bit of momentum heading into his match next week for the Gauntlet. Ivar came in, said you don't deserve it. They said you don't deserve it. Sami Zayn was like, prove it, you beat me. And then that was essentially that. And then we did a little segue to Candice LeRae hinting at Indy Hartwell that they should turn heel. And there was a bunch of other female tag team wrestlers in there basically confronting their other partner or saying something along the lines, just showing their face, saying that they were still here because, I don't know, they just needed a little bit of TV time. I appreciate the women wrestlers again, but I don't think that WWE is doing the best of job, at least with them right now, if they're not a main player. But they were just thrown here, and I understand. We got the other fallout from last week's confrontation, and this was Judgment Day taking on Imperium of Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser, taking on Finn Balor and Damian Priest from the Judgment Day. These are two great teams, so in no way, shape, form, or fashion but this is gonna be a bad match. It was very fast-paced, very hard-hitting, and both teams had a chance to showcase what they could really offer. But you are not gonna let the tag team champions lose right now. But it was still a great match going into it. Finn Balor and Kaiser started it off. It was a great back and forth wrestling match. You knew at some point the other team was going to try to distract. Giovanni did distract the ref for a little bit, but it was to the detriment of his own team. Finn Balor and Damian Priest got the upper hand. Finn Balor worked out a bicycle kick, or scissor kick, I suppose they call it, for the 1-2 kick out. Judgment Day was on top. He didn't really get all of it. Kaiser was able to work in an enziguri against Priest, and Priest was just itching to dominate and get inside this ring and get inside this match. A Pele kick from Finn Balor then led to a hot tag from Damian Priest to Damian Priest, and Kaiser also went for a hot tag, but Vinci was knocked on the side of the ring from earlier shenanigans from the Judgment Day. Priest then throws Giovanni Vinci out of the ring and then hits Kaiser with a broken arrow for the 1-2 kick out. At this point in the match, I see it be reaching its climax, but it's also starting to decline a little bit. So you knew the ending was coming very soon. Balor was able to get a surprise tag. Then he rolled up Kaiser for the 1-2 kick out. It was a lot of back and forth right now. Finn Balor was able to hit his sling bag. He then hit a drop kick into the corner. He did hit the coup de grace on Giovanni Vinci, but Kaiser broke it up at 2. It was very good. Like, these two are great wrestling teams. So if you're gonna watch a match from this, I think you should watch this match because it showcased two great tag teams. But then Priest was able to raise a little bit of hell, and he hit a choke slam on Kaiser, which landed him on the outside of the ring. Balor then tagged in Priest, in which after the tag in, Balor did a dive outside, landed on Kaiser. Priest hit Giovanni Vinci with the South of Haven chokeslam. 1, 2, 3, your tag team champions win, and they keep their momentum going forward. We still got to figure out what they're going to do with the tag team champions. I'm ready to see what's going to happen. Like I said, I'm going to sound like a broken record until everything starts to play out with certain things. But because I trust in Triple H, and I'm ready to see what's going to happen next. Cole then had the first announcement for the Hall of Fame, and the first inductee into the 2024 Hall of Fame is Paul Heyman. And this is well deserved because this man has pioneered ECW. He pioneered a whole generation of wrestling, and I appreciate Paul Heyman. And he also is the Tribal's chief wiseman. And who else is deserving of this Hall of Fame title? Drew McIntyre was backstage. He was essentially going in on Seth Rollins, calling him a spotlight junkie, and he was gaslighting Jey Uso and basically getting hyped up, saying that he was gonna win the main event match tonight. Rhea Ripley was backstage. She ran into Damage Control and told them to get off of their territory. Rhea Ripley is every bit of dominating, and she puts fear in people's hearts. I love Rhea Ripley. I love Rhea Ripley. I love Rhea Ripley. She's a great talent, and if she tells me to stay away from her territory, I'm gonna most definitely stay away from her territory. Next, we had the match that was set up earlier, and this was Ivar taking on Sami Zayn. And the 2 points from this match was the antlers. Michael Cole was extremely happy, and Valhalla put the antlers on Michael Cole, so his enjoyment very showed off the screen. And the after-match angle was essentially the 2 points that I took away from this match. But the match was pretty nice for the amount of time that they gave it. Sami Zayn was fresh out the gate, doing a tilt-a-whirl, trying to get the 1-2, but it was a kick out. Everything kind of pushed forward. Ivar was able to turn a DDT into a power slam and got the 1-2 kick out. And then also Sami Zayn did a tornado DDT later on in the match, and then he went for the haluva kick. Ivar turned that haluva kick into a sit-out powerbomb this time, equaling into a 1-2 kick out, and everything was very fast-paced at this point. Sami Zayn hit an exploder, then he hit a haluva kick. 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn was victorious, but it was a nice match. I know I breezed through it, but it wasn't essentially much to this match. Like I said, it's just to set up the after angle. And as Sami Zayn was celebrating, he was attacked by Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed didn't hit a tsunami on Sami Zayn. Just let him know, like, I'm here. Get used to it. You know the rest of the saying. But the match was good, so I appreciated the match. Like I said, I know I breezed through it, but it was more or less the antlers in the beginning and the after angle with Bronson Reed attacking Sami Zayn just to set up the gauntlet match for next week. And then after that, they segued to Gunther in the back. He was getting interviewed, and he was essentially congratulating everybody who is in the match because they're nice competitors. He is a nice champion. He is respectful. But I basically talked about this earlier, referencing Chad Gable. He came in and said everything about his daughter, and he's gonna take the smile off the Gunther's face and put it on his daughter's face, and Gunther basically just laughed him off and walked away. Yeah, it was a nice segment though. And then we went to Jay giving a rebuttal to Drew, basically saying that he was gonna smack him up. And then we immediately zoomed to 2K24 gameplay. It was DIY, it was R-Truth, it was Xavier Woods back there playing WWE 2K24 on an Xbox, no less. Why not a PlayStation? Why not a PlayStation 5? But I digress. And then The Miz came in and said that he knows how to get revenge on the Judgment Day, and that is taking their tag team titles. So maybe Awesome Truth is going to be the ones to take the title. Maybe it's DIY, but maybe it's probably Awesome Truth. They're going to take it at WrestleMania. That's not a prediction now. I'm going to do my predictions a little bit closer to, but I'm ready. Main event time. Now we have Drew McIntyre taking on Jey Uso, and they did not disappoint straight out the gate, straight from the bell. They got in and they got active. They got the announce table involved. Jey got Drew into the announce table. Drew then tossed Jey over the announce table, and they're fighting back and forth. Watching this match made me appreciate Pat McAfee for his commentary, for his energy, for what he brings. He is amazing. And if at any point Pat McAfee would like me on his show, or he would ever like to come on my show, he is always welcome, because I just love what he brings, just his personality, his aura, how he talks. It's great. Back from the break that they worked into after they were tossed into the announce table, Jey hit a flying crossbody. It was a 1-2 kick out, and then Drew started chopping the shit out of Jey. Like, took him to chop country, started beating his chest in. Now, not quite like Gunther does it, but it was still chops that I wouldn't have wanted to take. Drew then went for an avalanche white noise, but then Jey did reversed it into a sit-out powerbomb. He got a 1-2 sit-out. He got a 1-2 kick out. I'm enjoying this match. I'm feeling the energy. It is going every bit of what I'm thinking was gonna happen. Jey didn't hit a frog splash. Drew was able to get the knees up this time, and then he was able to hit a spine buster after the fact into a 1-2 kick out. So they're just trading pins at this point, trading moves, and then trying to get the upper hand and get the win on their opponent. Everything is being very good. Whenever they came back from the break this time, Jey seems to be limping a little bit. I don't know if he was just working me, pause, or just selling an injury, but he was kind of gimpy. Jey then bust out a drop kick in the corner, and then after that, he got powered up by yeet chants. They were yelling yeet, and he was getting stronger by the yeet. Yeet, huh, yeet, huh, like turning into the Hulk. Like the angrier he gets, so the more yeets. Maybe if you just go around yelling yeet, Jay's just gonna power up. But Jay then was able to hit a Samoan drop for a 1-2 kick out, and then Jay hit a hip attack. And then after this hip attack, Solo came out. Solo came out. No, he did a dive outside. I'm sorry, I had to go back to my notes. It was a lot of wrestling in this match. And if you don't watch the tag team match that I say watched earlier, watch this match, because it kind of was predictable, but I did not see this ending coming. Yes, it wasn't clean, because after Jay did a dive outside, Solo came, and then when Solo came out, Cody Rhodes' music hit. He came out, he attacked Solo because he is the bloodline hunter. Then Jay hit 3 super kicks and then hit a spear, and then I kind of already told it. Jimmy did come out, which distracted Jay, and then Drew hit him for the Claymore kick. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre won, but then that wasn't the end of it, because Jimmy went to go grab a chair, but Seth Rollins came out. Seth Rollins stopped Jimmy, but since he got into bloodline business, Drew McIntyre made his way back into the ring, and he hit Seth Rollins with a Claymore kick to end Monday Night Raw. And this was a great match, great segment. Go back and watch it. Great wrestlers all involved. I really appreciated it for what it was. Drew McIntyre, I love his character. He is going to get Seth Rollins every bit of what he's asking for Seth Rollins sticking his nose into the bloodline business. Maybe the bloodline helps Drew win at WrestleMania, and he uses it as a "it happened to me, it can happen to you" moment. But this Raw was not as easy watch as last week's was, but I appreciated every minute of it. It was a good Raw overall. You let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Please leave a like, a share, not a share. Don't leave a share unless you're sharing that Bitcoin, because I think Bitcoin went up. But leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and share this video. I'm here for all your wrestling review needs. I am Unknown Emperor. Thank you for tuning in. I am signing off. Goodbye.